I got no way to wash my car. I got to put an outsized hose spigot right there on my house. Tiny House Prepper. Hey everybody, I'm Bill with Tiny House Prepper, and I'm going to put an outside spigot right here. Now, here's the spigot. In case you don't know how these work, this is called a frost-proof outside spigot. This flange right here goes against the wall. So you drill a hole, you put it through the wall, that butts up against the outside. The wall is 4 inches thick or 6 inches thick, and so this sticks inside the house about that far. Now the valve to shut off the water is actually right here inside the house. So when you turn the handle, it's attached to a rod that runs up through the center of the pipe right here into the valve, which is the shut-off valve, which is right here. If you can look in the end, if you could do that, you could see that the valve is right here. So what happens is when you mount it, you need to mount it this way so that the water will run out just a little bit. So when you turn the water off, it shuts it off here, and all the water that's in the pipe will drain out. So there's nothing here that can freeze. Now the only caution with this, I know people who have a hose here, they just keep it here and they don't take it off in the winter. And because of that, this water in here can't drain because the hose is holding it in place, and then it freezes and it cracks right in here, and then it has to be replaced. So when you have an outside spigot of any kind, as soon as the weather starts to get cold, immediately take the hose off. Do not leave it on during the winter or it'll freeze. But anyway, so there's a frost-proof hose bib outside spigot, and I will show you as I install it. This right here is the perfect place to put this because this is the kitchen, so there's plumbing right underneath it here, right under the window. So it's a very good place to put it. So I went inside and looked under the sink to try to figure out where I wanted it. And it's going to be right in the center of this half and about 18 inches down from the windowsill. So it's going to be right about here. Now, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be exact. I can feel a stud right here and one here. There's no plywood underneath it here. It's just the metal running on the studs. So I just have to make sure I miss the studs. So I'm going to put it right about there. So now I got to make sure there are no wires in there. I would hate to hit a wire. There are no wires, so I will go the rest of the way through. There's a little level right here on the drill, so I can tell if I'm going up or down. I want to go slightly up so that the water will drain out using this level right here. Okay, that's all the way through. Just like that. Now I'm just going to use a couple of galvanized screws so they don't rust, and I'm going to screw this right into the siding. I don't know if that's going to be strong enough or not, but I'm going to try it. If it's not strong enough, then what I'm going to have to do is cut a piece of wood that will go on the outside and span to the two studs and screw in on the studs, and then I can screw this into the wood. But for now I'm just going to try this and see if this works. I want to go very gentle so I don't strip out the siding. I think that works all right. This is aluminum siding. I would not try it if it was vinyl, but I think that aluminum will hold it. If it doesn't, like I said, I'll have to take that out and put a board across, drill a hole in the middle to put the spigot through, and then screw into the wood. But I'm going to try it like this for now. So now I have everything done on the outside. So now I'm in here underneath of the kitchen sink to do the plumbing. And what I'm using is this PEX pipe. It's flexible pipe. I really like this because, of course, it's much easier to work with than copper. It's even easier to work with than CPVC. And copper and CPVC, when they freeze, they will expand about 5% and then they'll burst. This expands like 20%, and this very rarely bursts when it freezes, so that's a good thing. But you have to have a couple of special tools to do this. We use this little copper crimping ring, and we put that on there. And this is the fitting that I'm going to screw onto the end of the spigot, and I'll show you that in a minute. But we're going to put that, we just put that right there like that, and put the ring on, the crimping ring right here. And then this is the crimping tool. This is the special tool that you need. And you need a different one for each size. This is for 1/2 inch pipe. I also have one for 3/4 inch pipe. This is a little bit of an investment. If you're just going to be a, hairy homeowner and do a couple of projects, this probably won't be worth it, because this costs like $80 or something like that. But if you're going to be doing much plumbing at all, this will really speed things up, and it's well worth the money. So you just put that right there on the ring. And crimp it down just like that. And it's done. That'll be watertight, and that's not going to go anywhere. And then I'm going to be putting this shutoff valve right in here. So I have to cut this off. This is a PEX pipe cutter tool. Works very, very well. It's a ratchet. Just cuts it right off nice and clean. Then you just pull it open to do it again. So I'll put another crimping ring on here. Then I'm going to take the shutoff valve, put it right in there like that, and then I'll use the crimping tool once again. This PEX is so easy, it's amazing. This is all watertight. I've never had a leak from any of these fittings. There, now I've got where this screws onto the end of the spigot, and then I've got the shutoff valve right here so that I can replace the spigot if need be. Now this is kind of hard to get under here to do the work, and it's even harder to figure out an angle to put the camera so I can get it. But this just screws right on. This is the end of the spigot that comes in, and this just screws right on here. It's got a gasket in there. And this is going to go up this way. These are the supply lines, the hot and cold supply. I've already shut the water off. I'm going to have to cut here. I've already shut the water off, but there might still be some water that comes out when I cut this pipe. Yeah. A little bit of water, not much. Have to put a T in here, so I put a crimp ring on either side. Here's the T. I already have this piece crimped on. Get this out of the way. There's one. There's the other one. All right. Gotta cut this off at the right length. Now I gotta put this elbow in right there. If I had more room, I would have just made a nice sweep with the PEX pipe without the elbow. But it doesn't bend that sharp, and you have to be careful not to kink it. So in a tight spot like this, I have to actually put an elbow in there. So I got the crimping rings on. Get the elbow in place. And I'll put this back on to make sure I get the right angle when I crimp that elbow. From the angle of the camera, you probably won't be able to see that elbow. I don't know. Okay, one left. All right, all the fittings are kinked, are crimped, I mean. Now I just have to tighten this down. Okay, so there we go. Comes out of the supply line here through an elbow. There's a shutoff valve here, and then it goes in. Now remember, I told you the valve for the spigot is actually right here so that it won't freeze. So I got that all put back together. Now I'm going to turn on
the water and check for leaks. I've got this valve off, so I'll check for leaks here and here. Okay, water is now on. Checking this and this, there are no leaks there. It's all dry. So now I'll turn the valve on. Checking for leaks here. Don't see any leaks. I'll come back in about an hour and check to see if there's any leaks again, but I doubt that there are. So I think I'm good to go. It's like magic, man. Magic.
So now I've got outside water. I'm excited. It's been a couple years that I've wanted to do this. I finally got it done. Man, that sun's bright. So now I can wash the cars. I can water the new trees that we just planted. And when I back our new travel trailer in here, I'll be able to fill up the tanks and make sure everything's working. So it's a good thing. I hope you've enjoyed this little project, and you know, subscribe below if you haven't done that, and please like the video. That helps a lot. And I'll be doing a lot more little projects like this, so I'll catch you next time. Have a great day.